Welcome to Mind Your Business, the channel where we are in everybody business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip.
Hey, my nosy people, wagwan. Hope everyone is blessed. So, of course, the latest episode of Growing Up Hip Hop has dropped, so I'm here to have a little chat about that. Or more like a rant cap about it, because I thought that it was a bit of a, okay-ish episode. So, TT and Sean, let's talk about them too. I find their relationship really quite weird, but they already look so stressed. Sean looks like he can't take anymore. Man said that he's only got, 4 friends that are coming to his wedding. He feels like his friends will be upset that they can't attend the wedding. So I'm not understanding what's going on with this wedding and why it's not just split equally and why it has to be TT, all her family taking over the wedding. And Sean doesn't seem very happy about any of it. So I'm just looking at them like, you two are so weird. I don't get your vibe at the moment. Like, I want everyone to do well. I'm all a fan of love, but them two, there's something there I just don't quite get it. I thought it was interesting that he asked about Pep and Egypt and if they're coming, and that it was, her last chance to say no, basically. And I think it's a real shame that, TT was still like, no, she just kind of had to, like she said, put it in a box and put it away kind of thing. I think it's a shame because I feel like they should still be there. And it's a shame that, the division was really caused by the whole fallout around Sam and stuff like that. And then obviously the spreading the rumours around about Sean as well didn't really help. So Egypt and Tretch. Now, I think it was good that Tretch took her to go and meet the record label. I thought that was a good move. You can see to me that Tretch is making that move because he's not really happy about what's going on around them. I thought it was interesting because I thought Tretch, you can tell he's not very happy about the whole arrest situation with Sam. And he did say that he wants Sam and Egypt to kind of separate their business and relationship side. So I thought that was good to hear, and that's the good advice that he should be giving. So it was good to hear that also Egypt say that, she's an individual artist, and I thought that was good. Obviously, of course, she still mentioned Sam, but I like that she went to the meeting with her dad without Sam's interference. I feel like Tretch done that and said, well, yeah, I'm taking you here, but Sam can't come. Obviously, he's got this whole court case lingering over him. So potentially, they could be looking at it as a potential out for Egypt. Obviously, Egypt still loves Sam, but, from a parent perspective, it looks like that's where he may be coming from. So Egypt, played the label her single. And I thought it was interesting, the label talking to her about the fact that, marketing is a huge part of the industry and that she should focus on her market and, understand that whilst she came from hip-hop legends, her music is not really hip-hop, so she's got a broader audience, so she's tapping into that. And I think that's good that they advised her to be a bit more proactive on that side, because I feel like that would bring her out of her shell a bit more, because otherwise, Sam gets to be the forefront, let her personality come out, which would be good to see more of. So I thought it was good that they advised her to put herself out there a bit more. Now, I do think it was really odd in the next scene for Vanessa to be talking to Tanise about potentially doing something for TT as a surprise, for TT and Sean, like a bachelorette and bachelor party. But then when Tanise suggests Cree helping out, I'm thinking, why would you say this? This must be a production thing, or why would you say it? Because I feel like Vanessa's first thought, which was no, because of the whole situation which happened before, was right, and she probably should have stuck to it, although she didn't really have control at that point because Tanise decided that she's going to call Cree and just added her to the call, and then asked how she feel if she would help out. And she did flag that she knows that there have been issues before, but then Cree said that she would help out, and I thought that too was strange, because why are you doing this? Like, if you've got no storyline, at one point you were speaking about TT and you're not very happy with the way she goes on, and how she spoke about your business, and then now you're trying to help her. But anyway, I thought, okay, maybe she's doing a little olive branch to try and apologise. But when Cree started talking about, she needs to go and order peanuts cake, and Vanessa was saying, yeah, maybe something more classy, I just thought that was a sign that it was not going to be a very good bachelorette party from there. A little twist cracked me up, as always, when meeting with Vanessa and Jojo, and he sees Cree. I don't think he thought that she was going to be there, because he straight away was just like, oh, I haven't seen you since. And you could tell she was thinking, oh yeah, I haven't seen you like laughing like it's a joke thing. And he was like, no, I'm disgusted with her. She ruined my party, Vanessa. That cracks me up anyway. And but I thought it was good that Cree kind of held herself there and apologized so they could kind of move past that pretty quick. But then she also established that she was going to organise the strippers for both parties. So I thought that was interesting, particularly how the parties end up turning out. So back to Egypt and Sam. Obviously, they showed Egypt taking him for a surprise picnic, and they are both talking about the potential of this, Sam going to jail for maybe over 10 years. So that's obviously bothering both of them. Sam's talking about how he loves her, but if he goes to prison, he wants her to live her life. Yes, I would be in total agreement with that. Egypt, however, seems quite optimistic. She seems quite optimistic about it, and was saying that she didn't really want to leave his side either. And I thought it was interesting, though, that she said that she's not used to expressing her emotions or being vulnerable. So I feel like if Sam does go to jail, whatever the case happens there, it'll be interesting to see how she kind of manoeuvres and whether that will bring herself out a bit more. Because I think whether he's in jail or not, I think she needs to definitely look at expressing herself a bit more. And I think the fact that she's kind of got her passion for her music, maybe that will help her to do that on her journey. But you can see that Sam seems like he's in a bit of a dark place, like a bit depressed about the impending situation. I thought it was interesting that they showed that clip of Sam and Egypt sitting there, and he's talking about, he thinks it's good that Tretch is taking her to meetings and set up meetings. He ain't got to be there. Of course you don't have to be there, especially if Daddy says you don't need to be there. Yeah, I don't think we had any say in that personally. But that's just my thoughts on that one. Oh yes, back to the bachelorette party. Now, I thought it was interesting that they'd done this. Vanessa organised it and used JoJo's birthday as kind of a cover for everyone to meet up. So when they do meet up, you can see TT is obviously coming along thinking it's JoJo's party. So she's kind of surprised to see Cree. It doesn't really say much to Cree. And you can see Cree's already got her back up thinking, okay, she hasn't said anything to me yet. When JoJo does arrive and he gives Sean and TT blindfold and tells Sean to come with the boys and TT to go with the girls, it's obvious that something's obviously going on here. And it made me laugh because TT said to Cree that it's worrisome. Has she got anything to do with this situation? So I think that got Cree's back up a bit. And that's when Cree said, oh, you know what? We need to address this kind of situation. Cree starts to say, she has no issue with TT. Then goes on to try and mention TT's family. But I like that TT kind of just shut her down and just said, well, look, it's none of your business. Then she goes on to the next line, which is she thinks that her business is being attacked. And she feels like TT was at fault. Now, I feel like you have yourself to blame. Like I said before in my previous video, you have yourself to blame. No one told you to go and carry back information between a potential client. Now, that's very unprofessional. So you made yourself look that way. So you have to deal with that fallout. Why you keep blaming TT, I don't know. And I like that TT basically just held her own on it. And, Cree obviously didn't want to let it go. And because she didn't say, oh, sorry for that, or, try and back her on that on Twitter, which why would she if they were all coming for her at the time? She basically said, oh, well, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not doing this. And then went to the producer and said she's not going to the party. So I just thought, you could just be grown and just move forward. But no, you cannot, right? So in the next scene, when you see Cree talking to the producer, they're asking her, are you going home? And she's like, no, she'd rather go and be with the boys. So I'm thinking, why would be with the boys when the boys need to be on their own? Now, I personally think this is potentially could be a reason why Sean was not looking to vibe with the strippers, right? Because this same woman is someone who was going back and forth, taking the rumours around about him potentially cheating on TT. And now she's there and she's walking in with the strippers, talking about Cree's cabaret. So, of course, if Sean's got any brains, he's going to be looking at that thinking, well, Sean's obviously going to be looking at that and thinking, look, this could be a potential setup here. This woman who's been going around talking rubbish about me and this rumour, and who carried it elsewhere, is now set out as strippers for me. So why would he then engage? Secondly, I feel like it was a really weird vibe, okay? Both parties was just a weird and very dry vibe. I just thought, my goodness me, this is just like, it's just crackers, yeah? You see crackers are dry, you need to put some butter in them. No, that was it. Crackers, man. Dry like crackers. Because I just thought both of the parties were dry. Her with the white strippers. I thought it was interesting. I thought, so Cree, you chose these dry looking strippers for her. Then you've got these big booty strippers for him. I'm like, well, was this on purpose? Is you trying to do this? Is there a reason why you went to the male side rather than the woman's side? Because you wanted to see what the men would get up to. Because the men are not really going to necessarily feel as comfortable with you sitting there anyway. I'm sure Sean didn't. You could see his face as soon as she walked in the strippers. He wasn't impressed. Then the fact that he didn't want to have strippers, I feel like they should have respected that And there's other things you can do. Not everyone wants to see strippers. He did say that him and his woman do it all together and go to strip clubs together. So maybe that was their chance to just bring the party together, you know, and them all party together. But I don't know, it's just a weird vibe to me. The fact that Sean hid in the bathroom does scream a bit of controlling issues to me. I get it, because obviously he doesn't want to be seen as cheating, and I respect that he held his own in that sense. But I think it wasn't so good at environment, because obviously the guys were kind of clowning him about that and thinking that he's obviously under the thumb. It does come across a little bit like that. I will say that. I think there's a couple of ways of looking at this. One, which is, how controlling can TT be? Like, are you that scared to just be around strippers? But the other side is, you know, he's being respectful to his soon-to-be wife. He doesn't want to get caught up in no mix-up. So why not? If that's how he feels, he doesn't have to have strippers. Maybe the guy should have thought about doing something else, because to me, the stripper situation didn't really land very well. And it's very cliche, like everyone wants to do the same thing, innit? So, and to me, where are his real friends? Because I feel like his real friends that he hangs around with, he would have been more free, after being able to free up himself amongst strippers. Because it's on TV and he's been blasted with these cheating rumours, he's not going to want to have them all hanging around him. So to me, I feel like all the guys should have kind of known and kind of respected that, particularly Jojo and Eric. Obviously, Eric's talking about him and his wife have their own understanding about, you know, going to a strip club, as long as you don't touch or whatever. That's your relationship and that's what works for you. But it does look a bit weird, because even when TT did decide, oh, you know, when the strippers were putting their stuff back on or whatever they were doing, and at the very dry party, and she's like, oh, let's go and see what the guys are doing. I just thought, like, you really feel like you have to keep an eye on Sean a bit, is what it comes across as. So when she did come into the party, we could tell by looking at her face that she wasn't impressed to see the strippers there. He looked a bit like, well, are you going to kind of tell me off? And then he even apologised to the guys, was like, oh, you know, he's going to leave. I'm sorry, guys, if I disappointed you. I just thought, oh, poor Sean, like, it's meant to be your bachelor party. You look like you had the most driest time ever. So, I don't know. Very weird vibes to me. Very weird vibes. There's a bit of controlness in there. I feel like there's a bit of the respect element too, but something in that ain't right. Just didn't feel right. Didn't look right. Seemed like everyone just thrown together, not really getting on. It was just really quite a pointless bachelorette and bachelor party. You know, I also, like I said, I feel like Cree, when she walked in with the strippers, should have bounced. She could have just left her at the door. She didn't have to walk in with them at all. I just felt like she went there to be messy, so that if Sean did mess up, she would be able to go and talk about what she saw at the party. Otherwise, what are you doing there? The strippers were supposed to be there, not you, unless you're going to join in. So yeah, I thought that was unnecessary. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts below.
Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.